Have you been through times where it could have been, you could have gone one way or the other?
Yeah, adversity is a privilege.
Yeah, but people don't see it as that. Some people make it their story. You know, that's what defines them.
You get the chance to come back. Like, you get the chance to prove everyone wrong. It's a privilege. And not just that. Everyone faces some level of adversity.
I reckon if you guys can just see what you're going through, and some of you listening to this are going through a difficult time right now, and just know tomorrow's going to be another day.
Yeah. And whatever's bothering you now probably won't bother you in 3 months.
Exactly right. There will be an end date to it. And when you get there, you can look back and go, okay, I'm better because of it. Last episode, I mentioned that you were a really bad podcaster. And this episode, I want to open up with saying that you're probably the best podcaster.
Look, you're sending mixed signals.
No, I just wanted to reiterate that because, it obviously wasn't true what I was saying. I think you are the best, better than me.
I appreciate that.
And I just want to reiterate that.
I did cry for 7 nights. I did.
Until this moment?
Since that podcast came out. From then till this one.
Now you can be happy.
Every single night. Yeah, I think that took some people back. They're like, what's
wrong with you? What's up with George?
Upset at you?
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Know.
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Yeah, well, I mean, it's very relevant in life, negativity and what's it called, scarcity mindsets, all that sort of stuff. On about 3 weeks ago, I was coming home. So my son was playing football. He's very good at football. He's definitely in the top 5 players in our local club team, which I coach. Not being biased, but he's definitely there.
Just before you go on to this whole thing, do you reckon you're biased?
In far as how good he is? No. If he was shit, I'd tell him. Like, I would say, no, he's no good.
No, but do you think he...
So I think he's a better footballer than he is a basketballer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I look at him playing basketball. He's not the best person on the team. Maybe when he was younger, he's very naturally gifted at sports.
Yep.
And now what's happened is a lot of the kids have caught up because they've gotten older, stronger, faster, and then he's sort of come down a little bit in that regard. So he hasn't maintained that level. So I've definitely seen that, even in the football team. But he's definitely in the top 5 because he plays, he trains well, like he tries. He wants to get better, so he actually is getting better each and every time.
Yeah, so, okay. Because I've seen, you know how every parent like it says, my baby's cute.
I'm not that. Like, yeah.
No, but I've seen it happen with sports as well. Like, my son's a gun footy player.
Yeah.
And then you go and you watch their son and you're like, dude.
I see it a lot with...
yeah, and then it's like...
I don't follow soccer, but in the local soccer club, my family's involved in it and whatnot. There's always kids that go overseas to a camp, to like a Man U camp or Liverpool camp or whatever. Like, oh, my kid's the next. Like, your kid's not doing shit. They're not going to get selected for anything. I know, but I'm just saying a lot of people, though, think their kids are a lot better than they are. And I don't look at it like that. If he's no good, like I would say, hey, you need to practice, you need to be better. He's not the best. Like last year, he's been getting the B and F every single year, except last year he missed out. I'm like, good. You didn't deserve it. Like, you got other players got it. You should work harder. Like, you should drive you to a degree. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Does it drive him?
I feel that it does. Yeah, I've tried to instill that in him as well from a young age. So what happened was at school, they were doing their selections for the football team. They had an A and a B team. So the B team, obviously the less skilled players. And look, they only were assessing the kids off 2 trainings. So it was a bit hard for them to get, truly a true grasp on how good all the kids were. And they did say there will be movements up and down once we play a few games. Anyway, he got into the B team. And I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad. Now it's up to you to show them A, that you're good enough, or B, even just yourself. Are you good enough? Do you want to play in the A's? Or are you just going to say, no, I'm happy with the B's? Like, what's going to drive you in this moment? And, he was a little bit bummed that he didn't get in because he is a good player. And I said, well, cool, now's the opportunity. Now you're the one that needs to show them that you need to be going and stepping up. So the last few weeks is because I coach him at local football too and his team. And this is outside with his school, just to clarify, it's his school team. And he's been doing it. He's been practicing. He's been training hard. He's in games. Like the coach one day said to him, he goes, if any of you want to have a chat with me on how you can do better and be better. And he's like, yep, cool. He went up to the coach at the end of training, said, yes, what do I need to do?
Oh, so you're not the coach?
I'm not. No, this is for his school now, sorry.
Oh,
just
yes.
to clarify.
Yes.
So his school selection, not not the club selection, which is the local footy.
He's not playing local footy.
He's playing local footy as well. So he's playing local footy and he's playing
Okay,
it with
so
the school too.
okay. I was picturing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
School
It wasn't
A,
me.
the-
It wasn't me selecting the team or another coach or anything like that. Because obviously he'd be in the A's.
That would have that would have completely
Unbiased.
contradicted my first question.
Yeah. So no, it is for school. It was for school.
Yeah.
So he got into the Bs, and now last night I come home. He's like, Dad, and I'm like, what? I was like, guess what? So what? He's like, got into the A's, and I'm like, yes, you fucking ripper. I'm like, that's really good. Like, good on you. I'm really proud of you, because you could have gone one of two ways. You could have felt sorry for yourself and gone, oh, this is bullshit. I should be in that A's. I can't believe they dropped me, and just been pissed off, had a bad attitude, not supportive, none of that shit. Or you can go, okay, great. Well, I'm going to do the best I can possibly do, and I'm going to show them that I'm good enough to be playing in the A's. And I go, it doesn't just start with your skills. There's a whole range of things that they're going to look at as a coach. So this is what I would look at if I was their coach. I'd be looking at attitude. I'd be looking at leadership. I'd be looking at, are you listening when the coach is talking? Are you mucking around? Like, are you there to play? Are you there to win? Like, what are you, like, these are things that will all contribute. I said, you need to show that to your coaches that you're willing and wanting to play. And he was able to do that. And he got into the A team, or he said he got into the A's last night. And it got me thinking, like, I've seen so many instances, and especially with the young kids. When I was 2 weeks ago, we got pumped by like 50 points. The kids did. And it's funny, it's like at halftime, the body language with all the children, they're like, their heads are down. They couldn't, like, they didn't want to, it's like they didn't want to be there. They knew they were getting pumped. It was a hard game. They couldn't get the ball. They couldn't get clean kicks. The other team was just much better than them. And I said to him, I said, like, do you guys want to go home? Like, should I go walk over to the coach and say, listen, we've had enough, guys. Like, you've clearly won.
This is you coaching.
Yeah, this was me coaching. So I was saying this to about 18, 20 kids. I said, should I walk over to the coach and say we give up? And they're all like, oh, no. I said, okay, good, because you haven't lost. Yes, you're 50 points down. Cool, come back. Like, go and win the quarter. Just start there. Just win the quarter. And, I got their spirits up a little bit more and took it from there. But it was a really good lesson for them. They got kicked in the face, metaphorically. They got kicked in the face.
And so you didn't kick him in the
No,
face?
I didn't.
Okay.
I wanted to, because they weren't fucking listening.
listening.
They weren't doing all they weren't taking the coach's direction. Obviously, that's why they lost. Nothing to do with me.
Can't have a current affair come and knock on the door, so like kicking
Well, not, yeah.
10-year-olds.
We've said worse things than that,
Yes.
than kicking 10-year-olds.
Have we?
Yeah, I reckon we have.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I've upset a lot of people.
So
It was good to see. No, and like the heads were down, and it was a really good lesson for them, because kids aren't going to experience that level of, challenge often, but they do they did in this instance. But it did bring me back to thinking, okay, well, that happens to you as a kid. It keeps happening to you. You keep losing. Like, how do you grow up? What happens when you lose when you grow up? How do people combat that? And when you see champions are champions because they've gone through difficult things and come out on top. It's not because they just kept winning and no one ever beat them. There's always a champion that has a story of how it was really hard, how he never had a home, they didn't have any weights, so he had to pick up bricks. Like, there was things that they had to overcome to become a champion. And yeah, it was just an interesting scenario to see him go through it, but then also think about, well, how do adults go through this too?
Yeah, adversity is a privilege.
Yeah, but people don't see it as that. It's some people make it their story. That's what defines them.
Yeah, it's victim, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very victim. Alex Volkanovski,
Mm.
Alexander Volkanovski, I should call him. Talking about him like I know him.
Yeah.
He won the featherweight title back, and he said, he's like, adversity is a privilege. He goes, you all ruled me out, you all doubted me, blah blah blah. He's like, adversity is a privilege because you get the chance to come back. Like, you get the chance to prove everyone wrong. It's a privilege. And not just that. I think everyone faces some level of adversity.
Yeah.
Like, and you're probably thinking, oh, the prince doesn't apply. They do. It's just different.
Yeah.
Like, the adversity for them is the mental battle of, I will never get to
Go to Coles.
Yeah, dude, that's real.
100%.
There are people who say, I can't remember who it was.
Most famous people. Telling me
It was
if
a
Justin
famous-
Bieber was here and he's like, look, I'm just going to go to Coles and get some milk.
Yeah, can't do that.
You can't do that.
He's like, I cannot okay, it might have been Mbappe, the soccer player, a French dude, and he's like, it's. I hate that I can't walk down the street.
Yeah.
Like it absolutely bothers me that I can't just go and have dinner, like in a public place.
Yeah.
Because we get bombarded.
100 everyone. Hey, can I take a photo? Can I take a photo? Can I take a photo? Like every time you go and pick up.
That would be annoying.
Absolutely, it would be. Absolutely. Can you imagine episode 200 when we can't walk down the street?
Yeah.
Everyone knows us.
Can't walk down the street now.
Shit. Oh, could I just say something funny? Just on that. I was at a cafe this morning. I went to a construction site. I was at a cafe and there's a bloke there on a computer. And like, bro, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. he's on a computer and he's there. He's like, George. And like I turn around. He's like, oh, hey man, how are you? I'm like, yeah, good. Yourself? He's there, said, he's like, yeah, that's good. I said, oh, do you keep him busy? He's like, yeah, going well, just doing a bit of quoting and stuff like that. I had no idea who this guy was, man. No idea. Even like Angelo was with me, shook his hand, said, hey, g'day, how you going, blah, blah, blah. Grabbed our coffee, grabbed something to eat and then left. Said, cool, man, see you. Good to see you. Take care. Walked out. And I go to Angelo, I've got no idea who that was. No idea.
So you
that happens
left,
a lot.
You left without knowing who that was?
I left without knowing who that was. But the way he was talking to him is like I knew him for 10 years.
So who's
I'm guessing
fault?
he's come. Oh, I don't know. Like, I mean, I could have asked. I could have said, hey, sorry, man. I've got no idea who you are. But then it's a little bit of embarrassing too. What if I should know who he is?
Yeah, okay. One time I was going, where was I going? I was going to Cairns, I think. And I got out of the airport. I got out of the taxi at the airport. Uber, taxi, please.
Come on.
Got out of the Uber at the airport. And a guy I used to work with was there. And I looked up and I recognized him. I looked at it, like, you know when it takes a moment?
Yeah.
And he looked at me and I could tell he recognized me. And I'm thinking, where do I know from? And then, oh, yes, hey, man, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And then he shook my hand and he spoke for like 30 seconds. And then he goes, remind me, man, where do I know you from?
Yeah.
And I just looked at him like, what?
You asshole.
What do you mean? Like, you've been talking to me.
Yeah.
And then I said, dude, we used to work together. And he goes, oh, that's right, Jealous Craig.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, like this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So that happens to me quite often though. And my wife always laughs like when I tell her. It's like, we'll walk past and hey, George, how are you? It's like, man, I go to work, I've got no idea who that was. Because I get a lot of people coming to a fence.
To a fence? Events.
Not a fence. No, to events. Events.
Yeah,
so a lot of them from events, some people just follow and look at me and like they think they may have commented on some comment on a picture and I respond. They're like, oh yeah, I'm the guy, you know, Funky Pants 84. And it's like,
do you reckon, okay, that's a question for you. Do you think that it is a them thing or a you thing? Because you just said it happens a lot.
It's probably a me thing from the perspective of, I just can't retain people's names like that.
Even faces?
No, well, that's the thing. It wasn't even a familiar face. Like, I didn't know this guy. Like, I didn't know him well enough. If I don't know him well enough by face, by name, by nothing, he didn't even look familiar to me.
But don't you think someone who, because like I just got off a call with a lady before and she goes, I remembered her. She came to an event. I spoke to her at the event and she said, I'm not ready now, but when I'm ready, I'll get in touch. And I said, sure. And then she got in touch. Awesome. And I recall.
Yeah, so good.
And I called her and she's like, I don't know if you can remember me, but I met you at an event, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I do. I recall we spoke at the back of the room. And she's like, oh, wow. And I said, no. I recall the conversation. Yeah. But sometimes people do say that and I don't remember them.
Yeah.
But I don't get anyone coming to me acting like they know me from an event. Like people will say, I saw you live.
Perhaps.
Blah, blah, blah. But if they come and they say like, hey, George, man, how you doing? How you been?
There probably is an element of that too. Like it could be, it often happens, say, from example, it'll be a subcontractor that works for me. It'll be his employee. So it's like, I don't know them, but I know them. Do you know what I mean?
Never going to remember that.
That's what I mean. Like I don't remember, and I get that happen a fair bit too. And I read somewhere that you can only remember like 100 or 200 people or something. Like it's a whole village mentality. You can remember your village of about 200 people, their names, who they are, what they do, something like that.
I think it's 150 people.
Yeah,
1,500 faces.
Yeah, so it's something like that. Yeah. There is that thing, and I reckon I'm capped at that because I've hit that threshold, dude. Don't be the 151 because then you're fucked. I just won't remember it because I've got so much going through my head at any given moment that it's like
that's fake though. That's old.
I don't know. Yeah, it's probably is. It probably is. But
So
I'm
you
resting. I'm putting my hat on
You
it.
reckon you don't know more than 150 people that you could name?
No, I probably could. I
Yeah.
probably could. But
Sure.
there's got to be a threshold. There's got to be the 184th. Like someone there is, I don't remember you.
Yeah.
It's got to get to a point.
So, okay. So you
And
think.
it's not like I've seen this person for a while. Like he's gone sideways, but it's not like, obviously I haven't seen this guy often. Don't know who he is. Like didn't recognize the face. So there is a level of that somewhere. Who knows?
I'm trying to work out if it's like whose side is it on? Like, are people approaching in a way they shouldn't? Or
Potentially.
are you not recalling conversations that you should?
Don't know.
Yeah, of course you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I reckon, I mean, if it was
you knew,
meaningful.
we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, but if the guy had enough of an impact on me in that moment that we spoke, surely I would have remembered him.
Yeah, that's fair call.
Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, it was probably just another conversation, or maybe I was like, he was with someone. Like, there's got to be. He must have been. I don't think he was an employee. He must have been a boss of some sort because he had his laptop there and he was working at a cafe. So I'm guessing he was a business owner of some sort. Anyway, we're not going to figure it out here.
Hold on, yeah. How are you going to handle that in future? Are you just going to do that every time?
Yeah. To be honest, there's a lot of you out there that come up to me and say, George, how are you? How you been? You talk to me like I know you, and I'm just polite. I'm polite. Like, good man. How's the family? You good? I like your dog. That's a cute dog. How long you had that for?
Haven't seen you for ages.
Look, I got to go, but great chat. Let's catch up soon. And then go on.
Yeah, call me.
Call me.
Because I can't call you because I got no idea who you are.
No. People will start calling me out on that and they just go, you don't know who I am, do you? I said, nah.
Well, you know what? If you
And I
listen
often
to
say,
this,
I often
if
say
you
that
listen
too.
to this and you see George and you say, hey, and he says, hey, say, what's my name?
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Just
Just
say, what's my
say,
name?
what do I,
$1 million.
what's my AVN? What's my,
I'll probably remember that.
you know, and just quiz him and see if he can, see if he recalls, see if he matter.
See if you matter. Shit. But here's the thing, like you meet so many people, so many faces, so many hands you shake, so many people you speak to on a day-to-day basis. I don't know. I think it's how I manage to do so much. Is because I try not to. I obviously don't retain unimportant information. So, and I don't mean this as an offensive thing to anyone. If I don't remember you, don't take it personally. I think it's just okay. Like that transaction of me talking to you for 30 seconds is done and it's gone. Now I need to focus on the next thing, or I need to focus on this. I need to focus on this. Maybe it's a level of that.
Yeah, I think there's two sides to it. I personally, I don't believe, I think memory is less about retention and more about attention.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. I think I could definitely be more attentive at things like that for sure.
I think most people like don't remember stuff and it's like, you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
There was this one time.
Because you know that whole thing about the money? Like, have you heard the concept of, I don't remember people's names. You say this on stage. As soon as I meet you, you become bro, pal.
Yeah,
mate.
keep your name tag on.
Yeah, keep your name tag on. Most people, that rule applies to them.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I forget names. It's like, hey, George, you're going to meet 5 people in the next 5 minutes. If you remember all 5 names, I'm going to give you $1 million.
Yeah.
You're going to remember all 5 names.
100% you will.
Yeah.
100%.
Because all of a sudden you're like, hey, I got to fucking focus now.
It was funny because that leads into exactly what I was going to say. Next, I went to my son's orientation because he started a new school. And this was earlier in the year. And it was parents there, like people he was going to be in class with. So I thought, all right, I'm going to make a conscious effort to remember everyone's name that I meet. I don't know why I did it. I just thought, I'm going to make the conscious effort. We're going to be around these people every now and then. I'm going to try and remember them at the very least.
You want to be able to say, hey, Gary?
Yeah, exactly right. That's what I did. I went through and I was like, every time I shook someone's hand and like, hi, he's like, hey, I'm Travis. I'm like, Travis, is it? So I would repeat it. Or I'd say, hey, Travis, nice to meet you. So I could consciously remember that name. And funny enough, one of the guys was Travis. So
Shout out to Travis.
Shout out to Trav. Anyway, but it's funny because it also left an impact on them and they remembered me because I was engaging in the conversation. I was asking questions about them. And it was like, okay, there's a level here of us connecting and me remembering these people. And that's the one and only time I met that bloke and I still remember his name. And there were others there too. But yeah, I made that conscious effort. And I think more often than not, I don't make that conscious effort unless I need to. So yeah, I do believe. I think it's a very good skill. If you can remember and retain people's names and just things about them, I think that's a really powerful skill in the future, for sure.
Yeah. I also think you can't do it for everyone.
Yeah, exactly
But
right.
I
It's
can
going to be
remember,
limited.
I remember particular things about particular people that's like I can tell you the birthday of someone that I worked with at a call center 8 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Weird shit like that.
Something stuck about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just like,
About that person, about that date.
yeah,
Something
just like
happened on their
particular
birthday. Yeah.
things, yeah. And I'll recall like that date. It's
Yeah.
imprinted in my brain forever.
Yeah. Well, very sideways, that conversation. We were talking about adversity. So to bring it back, have you been through times where it could have been, you could have gone one way or the other?
All the time.
Yeah. Do you want to share an example?
Yesterday.
Okay, go for it.
I walked into your office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to share that story?
I could. Sure.
Without details.
Details.
Without specifics, sorry.
Yeah. So
And really cool story, by the way, because I think it's applicable to everyone.
yeah. So I think a lot of people can relate to this, but I constantly feel like, and I constantly feel like I should be further along.
Mhm.
Constantly.
Mhm.
Like always, always, always. And I saw a really cool post today by Andy Frisella that said, if you feel like you should always be further along than what you are, you're on the right path.
Mm, I
was
like that.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
And talk about timing.
Yeah. No,
But yeah, I constantly feel like I'm further along. And then so many times I see, if you said to me, like, do you think you're a smart bloke? I do.
Mhm.
I think I'm smart. I constantly update my knowledge. I'm always learning new stuff. I have a really good way of critically thinking about things. I'm not a fucking idiot,
Mhm.
put simply. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but I'm not an idiot.
And you're a practitioner in the sense that you
I do.
put in the work.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do the do.
You work on Sundays. You work on late on a day. You're here early. So yes, there's that element of it as well.
Yeah,
I think that's important too.
That's another factor. Like, I feel like I
Outwork people.
feel like I work more.
Mhm.
And then I go and hear a story about someone who just made $500,000.
Mm.
And I'm like,
What the fuck?
how?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, full credit to the person who's winning, like full credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it just makes me think, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Mm.
Like, this person who, not that I'm better than anyone else, but if I had to choose who I thought was smarter, I would definitely say me. And
Yeah, if you were picking a team
Yeah,
and you had to pick yourself,
but the
one or the
scoreboard
other.
says otherwise.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm saying I'm the better player, but the scoreboard, they're beating me.
Mm.
If you take that as a scoreboard, which I think personally, in the world of business, money
There's
is a
level of that.
scoreboard.
Mhm.
It's a very, you're in business most of the time to make money.
Yeah, okay. So then let's be really critical of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think you're not doing? Is there something that you're not doing then? Because we mentioned it the other day. I go, well, what? Okay, because this person was in a completely different field of business.
Yeah.
And I said, well, there's
It's not the first, like, it's not necessarily about this particular individual. Like, I've
no, it
had
was
it
that's right.
several different.
Yeah, it happens all the
Yeah.
time. Like you look at those certain things, and I've done the same thing, man. Like I'm over the hill. I'm fucked. I'm 40, right? And I still have this conversation with myself. But then it's like, people look at me and go, fuck.
Yeah.
I
know,
wish.
but-
You know, I wish I could be. I can't wait to be where you are one day. I'm like, okay, that's thank you. But is that like me? Like again, 5 years ago, if you looked at yourself and where you are today and what you're doing today, you know, you're like, fuck, that'd be sick.
100%.
So there's a couple of things. A, do you just sort of bring it back down to reality and go, okay, there's a level of just always. Sorry, what's the saying go? Always grateful, never satisfied.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, is there something then that you're not doing?
Yeah. There has to be.
That's what I mean. Yeah, because I look at it too and I compare myself to say, somewhere in the country is the best builder making the most money, and it's not me. Do you know what I
Do you
mean?
think the best builder makes the most money?
No, not always. Yes, actually, good point.
Yeah.
But somewhere in the country, there's a builder making the most money.
Yes.
The most.
And
Like he's number one.
Yeah.
And I'm not number one. And that annoys me. And I'm like, well, what's he like? I think I'm smarter. And again, I haven't met this person, whoever it is, whoever's at number one. I think I'm better. I think I'm smarter. I think I'll outwork them. I'm better at what I do. I teach other builders. Like, where's the break? Where's it go? Boom, you're now number one. What am I doing wrong? So clearly, again, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, but then so two things. One, I don't let myself go to the but you know what? Like you what shit this. What was I doing yesterday when you were walking out?
Working.
No, what was I doing? Think about it carefully.
Oh, you're sitting there pondering.
Yeah. I'm sitting not at my
Not
desk.
at your desk,
at
away from
another
your
chair,
desk, on another chair.
staring at my desk.
Looking at the desk.
Yeah.
You're ready,
trying to work out.
You're ready to fly kick it or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what I'm doing wrong. And I don't go into a place in that particular situation. Pain moves you.
Yeah. You weren't feeling sorry for
I
yourself.
wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was trying to sit in it so it bothers me enough to fucking do something about it.
Yeah.
Because you're either going to do something about it or not, right? And it has to be something you're doing. Like, especially in my case, like I sit there, like, it's got to be something I'm doing. And it's not I know people who've never read a book in their life and probably make more than me. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that's not to say don't read books, but it's to say, okay, cool, that's not the thing that's going to, that's not the thing, you're spending time on the wrong action. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, cool, well, what's the right action? Because at the end of the day, the result's the result. How you get there is relevant. As long as you're not doing anything that's outside of your moral and ethical framework, the result's the result.
Yep.
And if someone's getting a result that you're not, they are clearly doing something you aren't.
Yeah.
Clearly.
It was funny. I saw this video yesterday and I was going to send it to you because, again, it was on the topic of what we were talking about yesterday. And it was saying how, this lady was on there and she's saying, this is what I do and this is how I make 6 figures a month. And she starts saying, she goes, I'm not, just to clarify, she goes, I'm not selling you a course. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just telling you my story and what I've done to get out of where I was. And now I'm the provider for my family and I do this and I do this. And she starts going off into I do ads for people. I do this. I've learned this from YouTube. I went and blah, 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 blah. And she started going down that path. I found that interesting. I was like, because the thing she was saying, I said, well, okay, you're kind of doing now anyway. So what's the difference between what she's doing and what you're doing? From a digital ad perspective, because that's what she was primarily saying. She goes, I create ads for people, make them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and as a result, they pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not just one person, multiple people.
Yep.
Per month. And she goes, like, this is a way I'm going to show you because you can go and do it too, but you just need to self-educate and do this and do this and do this. I should have probably sent it to you. But
What was her name?
I have no idea. I don't think she was an influencer of any sort. She was just telling her story. Right, and how she did. She goes, I'm not selling you shit. I'm just here to tell you this is what I do. You can listen to me. You don't listen to me. I don't care. So I kind of liked the post from its rawness and say, I'm not selling. I'm just telling you.
Which is a sales strategy.
It could very well be, but she didn't have anything to sell.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
So she wasn't selling education.
No, she wasn't selling. She goes, I don't educate. Like, don't call me. Don't DM me. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you what I do. Maybe it was like a rant because people will keep saying, life's hard, I can't make money, when she's like, I make 6 figures a month. And yeah, it was interesting to see that and then go, I don't think this woman knows something you don't. Or obviously she does, but I don't think her ability to do what you do is any different. So where's the break? Where's that difference that she's making 6 and you're at 1? Do you know what I mean? Where's that difference?
Yeah.
Where's that break? Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it a matter of, they say that consistency, it feels like nothing's happening until everything happens?
You won't know until it does.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But, you giving up or you not trying new things.
No, that's not, and like pick answer multiple question, A, B, or C. It's none of that's not on the list.
So, the other end of the spectrum of what you're saying, you're trying to use that adversity, you're trying to use that pain to propel you forward.
Yes.
The other thing is it could own you and go, well, fuck this, man. I could go and make 200 grand. I'm going to go work for one of the leading marketing companies in the country. I'm going to go apply for a job at Meta. I know their ads inside out. I know AI. I know this. I'm going to go get a job at Google. I'll make my 200 grand a year. Be done. Be comfortable. Have a car, get a 1.5 holidays a year. Just give up. Not give up, but not ever have the yacht. Not ever have the private jet, not ever have those fancy things. Just going to live comfortably, and then own that be your story. And look, not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, like for people that want to have that story, you can definitely have that and live a comfortable life. But if you do want more and you want to challenge yourself and you want to be the best and you want to be these things, it's like, well, cool, you've got to work for it. Because here's the other thing that my son said last night. He goes, I'm a bit nervous now. He goes, because I was the best player in the B's team. He goes, now I'm not in the A's. He was like, this kid's really good. Like, he's such a good footballer. I said, good. Now's your opportunity to outwork him. Now's your opportunity to be training with the best and working with the best and becoming better yourself. And I said, like, this year, you're up against other players that are good. Like, this is at local football now. Okay, you're up against other players. Like, if you don't work harder than everything and everyone else to get the kicks, to get the goals, to get this, and to get the runs on the board, like, how you're not going to be in the BNF again this year. You got to work for it. Some kids, yes, they're naturally talented. They get that. But eventually, if they don't keep working and keep training and keep improving themselves, if you just outwork them, you'll eventually become better.
What's natural talent?
I don't know. But they're just good at it without really putting in a huge amount of effort, I would say. From a sporting perspective, I'm talking now. They've just got some skills.
Physically,
yeah, maybe mentally to a degree, being able to run, push harder. There'd be that element in sport.
You reckon mental...
In sport, without a doubt.
Hold on. Do you reckon mental is talent? Or do you reckon it's trained?
No, I think has to be a level of trained there.
Mental, for sure.
There has to be.
I would say it's 99% trained.
And this is where I feel I've influenced my son from a young age, because I've always put this down I've always seeded this with him. You want something, go out there, you've got to work for it. I can't run for you. I can't kick for you. I can't yell for you. And this isn't just in sport. I'm just using sport as a way of explaining it, especially for him, because that's what he loves at the moment. It's like, you want these things, you have to go out and work for it. He sees me get up in the morning at 5:30 every day, because he's up early too. So he sees me getting up every morning, and I'm either going to the gym or I'm going to work. So subconsciously that will have an effect on him. I remember when my dad was working and I was a young kid, and I remember looking outside and it's dark and he's going to work. Oh, fuck, my dad gets up so early. I can't believe he goes to work at that time. So that's even been instilled in me from a young age. But him pushing through those difficult things, running harder, something he does, which I think he's got some great, and again, I am unbiased. I am. You might not think it when people listening to me talk. But if he's not good at something, I'll tell him. I said, hey, you're not as good as this person, or you're not doing these things, so don't expect the results. He does things at the games that show true leadership. He goes around and he tries to encourage people. Come on, guys, we got this. He'll do push-ups if he does a bad kick at training, whereas none of these other kids do that. He'll pull other kids up, say, oi, listen up, when they're not listening. He goes, listen up, guys. So he's trying, I can see he's got those leadership skills, which is obviously gets from me being the coach, but also me being his dad. He's seen me on stages talking in front of people. So that influence has definitely been on him and, let's say, trained him mentally, because the other kids are not mentally tough like that. And he goes in under the ball, he's a very hard ball get type kid. And again, I'm trying to translate that sporting element into his life moving forward as well. And you can see it. Some kids don't have that.
Yeah.
It's got to happen. I think it needs to happen young. If you can instill that from a young age, it's easier. Did you have it as a young kid?
What?
Do you think you were mentally tough, or did you play any sports or anything like that as a young kid? Or do anything that was hard? Like chess? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Maybe there's an element of
play
that.
Sport, but not at a high level.
No, but even you can be putting in a huge effort at a low-level sports club.
Yeah, but I never saw it like that.
Mm.
I used to have fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I used to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I never saw it as, oh man, let's, the grind.
Yeah.
It never.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was like that as well up until about the mid-teens. when I was under 15s, under 16s, and we started to do proper pre-seasons that like made you throw up.
Like
we
running
used
up
to,
and down hills. And
yeah,
stuff.
like we used to then train. I remember under 16s, we used to train with the seniors for a little bit. And it's like, man, like I remember once, I've only ever thrown up once, and it was at a preseason, like just from the running and the work. And I was like, how do these guys do it? And like I was exhausted. But, you know, I got that did help with mental toughness. And then working during my university years, yeah, it was. It's building fences, like paling fences. That was hard, laborious work. Like it was really difficult shit sometimes. Sometimes you had easy days, but a lot of the time you had hard days that you had to push through. Like there wasn't an easy moment of it, and you had to work hard. And then I got that appreciation for doing a hard day's work, coming home and being real tired. Or, you know, I actually used to go to the gym straight after as well. But,
Yeah.
you know, having that appreciation for it.
Yeah, I used to do that. So I used to do, like when I was an apprentice, I used to do 7 till 7.
Yeah.
So
I think that's influenced me at that young age to be working hard now today. Because I used to work hard as an employee as well. That's why I always got promoted. I used to work hard as an employee. I always got promoted before everyone else because the bosses would always see me doing the do.
Yeah, but so linking back, what was the adversity that made you work hard?
I don't think there was an adversity thing there specifically for me. I just wanted more. I've always wanted more. So I always probably linked hard work with success. But along the years, I've also learned that a labourer works really hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A labourer can work hard. There's probably labourers out there working a lot harder than me. And in one transaction, I've made their salary for a whole year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not always a matter of working hard. And I've learned that through the years too. I used to think it was. I'm just going to outwork you. So no, but there's got to be a level where you got some self-awareness. There's got to be a level where you have some smarts about you too. And this is where the intelligence comes into what you were saying before. You're looking at some of these people and going, well, I'm working hard, I'm working smarter, and I'm still not getting the runs on the board. Is it a timing thing? Is it a market thing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not getting the runs on the board. I'd say it's
quick enough or large enough.
Yeah, but like even like you did that. Like I'd be pretty impressed if I did that. And it's like, I'm not doing that. You did that. And it's like, you're not that good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not. To some people you look at and you're like, I couldn't do that. Like that, what you're doing there, like you were fucking working for that, dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's other people you look at it and you think, you ain't that bright. You know what I mean? You're not doing anything I don't believe I could do. I believe if I do what you do, I probably do it better.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Do you know what I mean? I believe if you and I went up and competed against each other, I reckon I'd knock you out the park. And you're looking at those people and saying, but that's my thoughts. But reality is I'm not.
Scoreboard saying different.
Yeah, scoreboard says otherwise. You know, it's like looking at the team saying, we'll beat these guys.
Well, this is, it's great that we've had in this conversation because it's still very much in line with what we're talking about because, you know, this is something that's where you have that adversity now, that point where you can go, well, is this going to be which way is the story going to go for you? Is it going to be a matter of, okay, this is going to drive you or it's going to own you?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to own me. I don't think.
Oh no, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. But there's people out there where it would.
Yeah.
I mean, but okay, you go home and you got a missus. It's like I want to go on holiday. Like I just want to go to Europe. I want to tour Europe, first class. Like start making some more fucking money. You know what I mean? Or like, can you just go get a job and make 200 grand a year so we can just relax for once and not have to worry where our wage is coming from this month? Or your family, oh, you're working too hard. Are you working Sunday? Like, can you just get a normal job and just relax and like not work Sundays? I'm concerned that you're going to burn out, you know? So then you get external factors buying in to what you're doing and what you're about and sort of maybe even self-doubt creeping in.
But that, you get that anyway.
Yeah, I think you'll get that on all levels.
Yeah. Like you get people like.
And it's often people that care about you, yeah?
The best question I get is, how much do you make from the podcast?
How much have you made?
Yeah. And it's like, huh?
Like
how much money do you make from the
that.
podcast? Like, how much does that pay you? And you're like, pay me. It just takes time. Like it doesn't pay me, if anything, costs money.
Costs money.
But that's just people who don't, I just think they don't subscribe to the same theory.
Or to this podcast.
Or to this podcast.
Because if they did subscribe to the podcast, I mean, they'd be very enlightened and probably learn a couple things along the way too. And yeah, look, more often than not, I think a lot of people that love you will say things like that to you. My dad says it to me. You know, he'll be like, "Oh, he goes, you're working too hard." I said, "No, I'm not working fucking hard enough."
But who cares? Like,
exactly.
No. Who cares about like the intention? Intention's irrelevant. The result's the result. Like if someone, so for example, a parent who ruins a kid, they do it out of love. Most parents, they're like, I want to give him everything I didn't have, blah blah blah, and they give him all this shit and they spoil the shit out of him, and then the kid grows up and is ruined and has had everything as a brat. That parent had the best intentions for the kid, but they fucked him up.
Yeah,
as opposed to a parent who maybe didn't have great intentions. They were selfish, didn't care about the kid, left them, blah, blah, blah. The kid went through adversity, had to learn, ended up with a way better result. This kid grew muscle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the intention, does it really matter? Oh, they're doing it out of love. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
The result's there.
Yeah, but their intention doesn't matter. But what does matter is how the person reacts to that intention, whether they listen to it or whether they go off and do what they genuinely believe is the best thing for them.
Yeah, it's all noise.
It is all noise.
All noise.
How do you block it out? Because these are also influential people. It could be close friends, it could be your partner, it could be your parents, a sibling. How do you block that noise out? Because you love, respect most of the time these people and their opinions.
Yeah.
So how do you block that out?
Like, if you are going to give me business advice, you best be doing
in business
more than me.
Yeah.
When I say more than me, I mean more in the direction that I want to go.
Yeah.
That might be for you. Like, let's just say, for example, your goal is to work 10 hours a week. Listening to someone who works 80 hours a week but makes $20 million a year is not the right person.
Yeah.
If that's your goal. So it's like, okay, cool. Listen to the people who are doing what you want in that space. Don't listen to a fat person about how to get a six pack. Don't listen to a broke person about how to make money. Don't listen to an employee about how to run your business. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, just don't, like, if they say stuff, I mute it. I just nod. It's like, cool, man.
Yeah.
That's great. Tell me more about how you don't run a business. Or tell me more about how you.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I had this conversation with employees the other day. They're like, before we do this, how do I get into specifics? Fuck it, whatever. So we're here to give value, so we're just going to talk. They're like, before we start the next job, we're not starting, like they're all like demanding is that we're not starting the next project until we have this, this, and this from the clients. Otherwise, we're not starting the job. I responded in the group chat, false. Okay, we will be starting the fucking project and you will make it happen. Okay? Because they're like, oh, no, because then it's hard. Of course it's going to be harder. Have processes and systems in place to get the information you need. But I'm not going to say to a client, I'm not starting your job. I'm not going to get $250,000 worth of revenue in the business from day one because I need you to make your selections on this, 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 and this. That's just stupid business. Can we have processes in place? Like the question should have been, the statement should have been, we should have a process in place to ensure we have this information by this date so that we can ensure the project runs smoother. Not, we're not going to start a project. It's just stupidity. Of course you can start a project and still have those dates in place. Okay, cool. Then I'll say the same thing. Great, we don't start a project. So then everyone's happy to work for 3 months for free until we have this information, just out of curiosity.
Okay, but is that semantics?
What do you mean by that?
Like just the way a sentence was worded?
Oh, no, they were pretty much saying, because it can be difficult when you don't have some of this information moving forward because you're chasing your tail a little bit. You get to a point of the job and you're like, we need this information, job has to stop or job goes slower.
If the sentence was structured differently but had the same meaning?
Potentially, but I know how they think and what they're saying. They were there going, no, let's stop. Let's not do the job. The job doesn't begin. That was their solution to the problem, to put pressure on a client to give us information. So no, let's not start the job until we have this information. So guys, like it's the wrong way to look at it. Have a process in place to get the information. Even you can start the job, but just have it by a certain date. And then if you don't have it by the certain date, then there's consequences to the owner or developer or whoever it is,
Yep.
in time, in money, in whatever it is, because we're delayed or whatever. But yeah, that was just going on external noise and people telling you how to do something, but it's not necessarily the best advice for you, for your business. You know, they're looking at it from their perspective going, okay, because it makes our life easier as employees when these things happen. And I guess 100% it does. And that's what we want to have. But the process doesn't mean it has to happen this way. It has to happen another way to get the information. But yeah, anyway, so that was just more elaborating on your example of external noise and people giving you advice when it may not necessarily be the best thing for you or for the business.
Yeah, I think you just got to look at where it's coming from. Do you know what I mean? Who's telling me this thing that I need to go and do this, or I need to listen to that, or whatever it might be? Who's the person telling me that, and what runs do they have on the board regarding this factor? Yeah, and then if someone's in the position you want to be in, and they're telling you something, and you trust that person, and you like them, and you respect them, you should probably listen. Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone is doing exactly what you want, or has the body that you want, or the life, or the family, or whatever it is, and is doing what you want to be doing, and they say, hey, man, you should do this, this, and this, you should probably, and you don't have to listen blindly, but fucking just take it in.
Give it a crack.
Yeah, and say, okay, like, let me think about that. Does that make sense for what I want?
Yeah.
You know? But the end result is people who achieve things that others don't are doing stuff that others aren't.
Yep.
It's there is no way you can deny that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Like, that's just, it's facts. If they're getting something you're not getting, they are doing something you're not. You know what I mean? What that is.
You see that in the masses though as well. As far as everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, that I say this all the time. Like, man, like the average person sucks.
Yeah.
That's
Average,
why.
Man. You just said it. Like, someone said you're average this. That's offensive. I'd rather be really bad.
Yeah, but so it's not the term that is offensive. It's what we've made of the term.
Yeah.
Average just means if you had to lay everyone out and find the middle, actually that's median, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's kind of like somewhere in the
most, same.
Yeah, the most common type or whatever it might be. Like if we had to make one, everyone, combined, and we took one thing from everyone, made one, it would end up here. That's just a meaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if someone says the thing actually doesn't have any meaning behind it, it's just what it's defined as. Why we hate the term average is because we look at the average human and we're like, man, people suck. And most people suck. That's why most people are not wealthy. Because most people suck.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I went to a pizza shop the other day. All they do is make pizzas. That's all they do. Like they sell pizzas. They don't have anything else. They don't sell chips. They just make pizzas.
I haven't had pizza for a while.
I'll go now.
Tell me which one to go to. I hear you know a few.
I've been around.
Sorry, continue your story.
I went and got a pizza from this pizza shop. All they do is one thing. It was the worst pizza. And I'm like, you got one job. Like this is your bread and butter, literally. Like this is all you can do to make money. And you can't even get that right. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not hard. Do you know what I mean? It's not hard to make a meal.
Hey, I flipped out the other day.
Good.
I flipped out.
Who?
At you.
At me?
Yeah, when you made the pizza.
Oh,
I lost my mind. When I saw that, I was like waiting for it to go to like the pizza to turn into a fucking, I don't know, transformer and tell me to buy marketing. I was about to buy it. And you made a pizza.
Really making pizza.
You made a pizza. The bloke that hates to cook and would pay people to cook for him made a sick pizza too.
Let me make this clear.
Did you make the dough as well?
I actually didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
No.
I didn't think you did. But still sick.
Yeah. But I have the recipe.
It was a good pizza?
Oh,
Was
dude,
it genuinely a good
phenomenal.
pizza? It looked fucking good.
It was fucking great.
It looked like a really good pizza. So.
Yeah, it's very good.
Go check it out. For those of you that haven't watched it, go on his Instagram page, check it out.
But what were we going to say before that?
I know, we're talking about your sick pizza. And I flipped out.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I don't hate cooking. I think cooking every day is a waste of time.
Yeah.
So going to cook a one-off meal is an enjoyable exercise. cooking every day to eat
Yeah.
is a waste of fucking time. It is. It's the truth. But like going and whip up a meal in it, like as something to do,
Yeah.
is fun.
And a bit of content as well.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm gonna do this, but if I'm gonna do this, I'm coming with cameras.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're like, all right, yeah, it's fine. And I was like, okay.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, it's great.
That was very good. Very good. So yeah, look, as I said, I feel there's been times where I've gone through adversity and it could have gone one way or the other. And I feel that most times I've come across that, even though it's hard at the time to accept.
Do you want to share an example?
I mean, I always come back to it, so I kind of hate saying it, but COVID was one of those examples for me personally, business and personally. I just don't think I was the best human during that time. Not that it was a bad one, just wasn't the best. Work was really hard, losing a lot of money. I considered shutting up shop, not going broke, but actually walking away from it. I was very close. And had I not won a really big project, which pretty much pulled us out of the shit, I probably would have. Yeah. I reckon I was very close. Considering my options to go, fuck this, I'm just going to go call my mates that I know that work at big construction companies, get a really cushy job. Not when I say cushy, a very well-paid job, and just work it like that. That was probably one of the times where I persevered, and I don't regret my decision. I'm glad I did, because I think it made me into a better person, a better human doing that. Went on a path of self-development as well. So went and did a whole bunch of courses, learned how to speak on stage, started a new business, met yourself and a whole bunch of other people as well that we became friends with following that. So I don't regret it at all. That I look at it as a positive thing that happened in the end as a result of what happened now.
Hindsight's fucking great.
So now whenever I come across something difficult, I try and look at it in the same way. Well, what's the lesson here? How can I use this difficult thing to be better? That's how I try and look at most things. You know, even now we're mid handover on a few projects, and it's like a real stressful time. I see my team, like it's interesting watching people under stress and how they cope with it. That's interesting too, watching the team. Some thrive, some go, okay, cool, let's go to the next level. Some buckle.
Yeah.
Some buckle, you know? And like I can only teach what I can teach. I can't do. I can't make it do it. I've tried to give some advice, say, hey, look, ground yourself. Understand that this will be over in a week. And all these things you're stressed about right this moment, you're not going to be stressed about in 6 months' time. Because you're going to finish on Friday. That's it. So use that pressure, that stress to get the job done. So that's interesting. Because these stresses are coming on me too. I just handle it differently.
Yeah, but so there's two sides to that. One, capabilities. Some people are just not.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that you think everyone can learn everything, and it's like, no, some people can't.
Yeah.
And the other aspect is like, what's in it for you and what's in it for them?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you have to wear the most. You have to be willing to wear the most, at least. You don't have to wear the most, but you have to be willing to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's your business. They don't have to be willing to wear as much as you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
And if you got to ask yourself this, if it was their business, would they be willing to?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah. Also, I don't think everyone can do what we do. I think the vast majority of even people that are in business can't do what they do. Or can't do what we do, sorry. I think there's a lot of people in business who probably shouldn't be.
So how would that person know?
They probably just get kicked in the face and then realize it themselves. Because in the moment, they're like, oh, I can do this. Or I'm good at this.
But how would they know? Or how would you know?
From a perspective of now, because I coach and mentor some people, I see what some people are doing and where they're making mistakes. But some people like keep making those same mistakes for 10 years. We had a client once who, again, great builder, really good at construction, built some amazing, beautiful homes, but just didn't make any money for 10 years. It's like we've made wages, but I may as well have gone out and worked for someone and made wages and not had all the risk, all the stress, all the, sleepless nights. I said, yeah, probably right. You're probably right with that. So what needs to change? It's like, well, that's why we're here. They just didn't know what they didn't know. I think they were not too bad operators. They just were doing things within their business that was wrong. But some people just can't deal with the pressure and the stresses that they have that comes with the territory. And that's what a lot of people go broke in business. A lot. And more often than not, I don't know if they come back.
Yeah, you know what?
Go open up another business.
I reckon that stat is bullshit.
You reckon?
Yeah, you don't reckon? Yeah, have you heard the stats?
No. Well, in what? In business in general or in industry?
In both. They're horrific.
Yeah.
They're like something along the lines of, 90% of businesses won't be able. So I think it's 60% don't get through the first year.
Yeah.
Or first 3 years. 90% don't get past 5. And
It's like 5%
90.
gets to 10 or something.
Some stupid shit like that. But how many people do you know that have had a business that have gone broke in comparison to how many people you know that have a business? And it's like everyone you ask. So answer that question.
Yeah, I don't know. It
might
Less
be
than a
one or
handful.
two.
Yeah, less than a
like
handful.
it's not many compared to, I know, maybe hundreds of business owners.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, where's the stats? Because everyone you ask seems to say the same thing.
Well, you can find it. The Bureau of Statistics.
Yeah, but where's the stats coming from?
They would be looking at insolvencies because you got to apply for it. Like
Yeah,
the ATO would know that you go broke.
Yeah, of course. My company, this entity shut down. Yeah. I'm still operating.
Yeah.
But this entity shut down.
Yeah. So could be a level of that too.
It's got to be, dude. I just don't know many people that have gone completely bust. I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day, that's why. And then I was like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't stack up.
Yeah, that many people are going
that
belly up.
means that if you've been in business in 10 years, everyone that you look at that was in business back then, most of them should be shut shop.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just stop.
Hey?
Maybe they just give up.
Yeah, let's count the
different.
giving up as shut shop.
Yeah.
How many people do you know that gave up completely?
Yeah.
Still not that many. Even if it was half, the claim is like 95%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. You look at the stat is there for everyone. You look at it in the US, you look at it in Australia, it's all claims, they all claim a similar-ish kind of pattern.
Yeah.
But then when you actually look at what's around you, it's like, it doesn't stack up. There's something here that does not make sense. Either everyone I know is super successful because you're all fucking part of the 1%, or we live in a different world. They're getting stats from somewhere else.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah, so as far as what people can do when it comes to whether they're going to be successful or unsuccessful in a time of adversity, I reckon you just got to look at the situation for what it is. That it's not the end. You're not dying after this. All right? It's not the end of your life. It's not the end of the road. There is a tomorrow. All right? And you get to wake up and you get to go again and you get to keep moving in the right direction.
And if you do die tomorrow, you'll be dead.
It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. If you die that next day, like no one can. And look, the world goes round. Do you know what I mean? If we touch wood die tomorrow, my inbox is going to have 100 emails. And the day after that, it'll probably have another 100 emails. And the day after that, it's probably going to have another 100 emails. Right? The world's going to keep ticking.
I just finished Steve Jobs' biography.
How was it?
Fucking interesting. I listened to it like sections. It's very long. And this guy changed the world. Like, I think we think that he just made Apple. Did you know he's behind Toy Story and Pixar? And
I think I did hear that. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Pixar. Like, I had
Pixar.
no.
I think I heard something. There was a connection there of something. I do recall that.
He's behind all that. And Apple was a little company. Look at Apple now. And it's like, and this guy died, gone. Like, it's like, how many times have you thought of him? Like, he's got something that everyone carries around, But how many times have you thought of him?
Mm.
Really? Yeah, I mean, this was people referred to him like he was a genius. They reckon he wasn't the smartest bloke, but he was a genius. Like in his way to deliver for particular things, you know? And very Elon Musk
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Very aggressive, very
To the point.
just a different person. But he's been dead for over 10 years. And I'm sure his family still think about him from time to time. But how many, and even like the people who say, oh yeah, no, Steve Jobs made Apple. And it's like, what do they know about? What do those people's opinions of him matter?
Yeah.
The people who have no idea who he was or anything about him. They just know that he was associated to Apple. And he's gone. That's it. Forever.
Forever and ever. So that's the number one thing, I reckon, man. I reckon if you guys can just see what you're going through, and some of you listening to this are going through a difficult time right now, and just know tomorrow is going to be another day. Tomorrow you get to get up and you get to go and do it again. You don't have to. You get to get up and do it again. You get to have all those problems, have those challenges, come out the other end, because there will be an end date to that challenge. There will be an end date to it. And when you get there, you can look back and go, okay, I'm better because of it. I know how to deal with that when it happens again, if it ever happens again. Or I can give some advice to my kids, to a friend, to a partner, if something like that ever happens again.
Yeah. And whatever's bothering you now probably won't bother you in 3 months.
Exactly right.
And
Exactly.
to prove it, think about something that bothered you 3 months ago. How much does it bother you now?
Can I just say, like, nothing that happened in COVID bothers me.
Now? Yeah.
Like, I don't think about it.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas
Or
at the
even
time,
when
it was
it's like
obvious.
when someone brings it up, you're like, don't talk about it.
Yeah. There's no level of stress there
Yeah,
when
it's
you
gone.
talk about it. It's
Yeah.
done. Like, whatever.
You saw it for what it was and life goes on.
That's it. And then the next thing you could do, and probably the most important thing, is obviously just listen to this podcast, because it's going to give you everything that you need to be massively successful in your life.
Everything.
Well, great chat as always. Thank you very much for joining us. Haven't said this in a while, but I hope you're having $1 million day. And I personally cannot wait for you to join us next week when we have an amazing chat.
We'll see you then.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.